Good afternoon, everybody. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the narcissist shared fantasy. So, the shared fantasy is, we always talk about the fantasy that once you meet the narcissist, they will, slowly drag you into this fantasy world, fantasy land. And that's to say that during the love bomb phase, first they build you up onto a pedestal to where you are idolized, right? And you're built up a lot to a point you've probably never been before. And because of that, I think that you kind of give those same admirations back to the narcissist. I don't think that's talked about a lot, but that's kind of because you're so happy, it's new, it's a love bomb phase, and maybe it doesn't seem all that right because you do get, this is an unawoke empath, but you're kind of unawoke to exactly what's going on, but your intuition is there even though you're running it over, or you haven't honed it yet to 100% or whatever. And so you don't trust it, you haven't honed it, and you're still under the spell, but you still get these inklings that things aren't right. And you probably have through the whole relationship, but what they do is they will, build you up, you'll build them up, and then, they will, make you believe all of these things about them, how they should have been treated better as well, and you should have as well. And they will drag you into this world of theirs where slowly but surely, you're gonna drop your boundaries, whatever boundaries you do have, because they will, with the mixture of witchcraft and the spells that are on you, because you have this, because you grew up in these families or whatever. And so they will get you to drop your boundaries, and they'll make rules slowly to where, you'll be accepting of these things because your boundaries aren't strong enough, or you have none, or you like the individual a lot to where you give them these options that you normally wouldn't give anybody else. I think that's kind of how I looked at it in my last situation. And so with that, you end up, it leads to where they have complete control over you. You end up being isolated from anybody. So they find out where your boundaries are, at anybody that has any kind of opinion, or any kind of, everybody that you deal with on the outside, who, your family, your friends, and they try to isolate you from those individuals. But you may even be isolated already, which makes it even easier for them, especially if you have no children and, nothing like that. And then what happens is they build these rules for you, and then once they have deemed you that you are safe, then they will also test you in this period of time where you wonder why they create all these problems. But a lot of times they would create these problems as testers, and they do it every day. So there's different reasons they will create these problems, all these problems that turn into word salad, and you're wondering where this argument come from. Well, of course, they cannot regulate their own emotions. That's why you're here. You're here to regulate their emotions. That's one of your main jobs. And so they create these problems out of like thin air, and it's because they have, first of all, have abandonment issues. So with the abandonment issues, it causes them to test you all the time, maybe like 3 or 4 times a day, and it's to see how you react, and how you react to these things that they start with you, these arguments. And if, I guess what it's getting at is this: if you don't respond a certain way, meaning you don't fall into the trap of getting reactive with them, and, you know, being passionate about the situation. It's usually something like a triangulation thing. It could be they bait you into an argument regarding your love for them, something like that. And they want to hear you respond that, you know, you love them, you care about them, and, you know, they want you to be fighting for the relationship. That tells them that, you know, or you get upset about a triangulation situation, you get jealous. That tells them that you're not going anywhere. So these are testers, so that they know whether, if you don't play into it, then they're thinking right away. It throws a red flag up to them that you're going to be leaving soon. So then they're going to start working on monkey branching to somebody else. So that's why they do this. But they never quit testing you. That's the thing. They may test you 100 times in 1 month, and then they still don't trust you. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's why you get all those like testers and these situations that get you caught up in these arguments that turn into nothing but word salad. And then you're apologizing, it's not even your fault. And, you know, the other thing about that is they also have to flip their energy with you, the energy transference from their sin soul energy to your good soul energy. So they have to get you to react. And they usually do that on a daily basis so they can get that fresh energy. And then what that fresh energy does is it helps them to, basically what you turn into is this holding cell, and you are the processor for their emotions. So they throw all of their emotions. So they basically project, and of course, you know, what they project onto you is what they're doing. That's how they say that the narcissist actually tells the truth. So if they tell you, you know, you're cheating, they're actually telling you the truth that they're cheating. Or if, you know, they say you're lying, of course they're lying. They're always lying, and stuff like that. But usually, when you get an argument and they project, you know, onto you all of these things, it's usually straight up who they are, and they're telling you the actual truth for the first time in your whole life of, you know, what they're doing and who they are. And so, you know, they have to purge this because they cannot process it. So what they need is an empath that will accept all of this turmoil, all of this emotional abuse. And they want you to accept it and then, you know, believe the words that they tell you and the things that they tell you that you are. The negative, you know, comments and thoughts and accusations and all this stuff. So what you tend to do is you tend to absorb it and believe it. And then, you know, with that, then they can walk away, and that's where they say they straighten out their mask, and then they're able to go outside the house and they're happy. They look like an empath and you look like a narcissist, and they kind of like you know, they're able to go on about their day. And so the other part of the reason why you're with the narcissist is because you got to emotionally regulate them, but so that you're basically the processor of their emotions, so that they can go out and have a good, successful day. I mean, that's basically what it is on a daily basis. And there's different roles that you play. And one of them is you're going to be like an admirer. You're going to adore them, adorn them, love them. Then you're going to be also, you know, their love partner, sexual partner, that sort of thing, their playmate. And then you're also going to be their mother or father. So it's just, these are the roles that you would fall into. And they're all roles to suit them, to soothe them, and to emotionally process not only your emotions but also their emotions and accept them all. And so what this causes is you think you're in a partnership, in a relationship with somebody who loves you, and you think that maybe they have some issues and you haven't figured them out, but you want to help them. You know, and you think that in time you can understand them and you can help them, you know, come to some sort of resolution. And, you know, you kind of feel their pain because you went through pain as well, and you can feel the pain from the narcissist that they do have pain because they don't process anything, so they're holding on to it, hanging on to it. And so what you do is every day, that's what you do. They get you reactive. They throw these emotional turmoil that they can't process. They accuse you of all of this stuff, or somehow spin it to where it's like they're able to toss all of this negative emotional abuse onto you, and then when you accept it, then your good emotions and your good energy gets put on them. Basically, when you get reactive, what it does is you end up pushing your aura out. You push all of your emotional field out because you're getting reactive instead of like, like this. You're like this. Yeah, I tried. And when you do that, then it goes whoop right into them, and their negative goes whoop right into you. And that's how it works. It's like a positive negative situation. And with you being a love partner of them or whatever, or in a relationship, it makes it even easier for that transference to occur because it's a deeper thing than just a regular person. So it's a deeper soul tie type thing or whatever. So they'll do this, and then you'll leave the house and you'll feel like them, they'll feel like you, and that's the whole reason for this type of stuff. And those are the roles that you'll end up playing if you pay attention. And then they feel like, once they feel like they have tested you, they'll breadcrumb you and stuff like that in the beginning as they start to get you into devalue mode after the love bomb phase. But they'll test you several times and see, like when they start to breadcrumb you, they may not talk to you for a couple days during the first love bomb phase. And if you don't call them, you don't care about them, as far as responding to them, not responding to you, and you didn't respond to them, then they know that they got to work on you a little bit more. But if you're calling them off the hook and you're like, where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you talking to me? Then they know that you're ready, to where they know that you're safe now, that they can, go and move around the country the way they want. And you're going to always be there because you're trauma bonded now. And that's basically how they test you and how they get you locked in the original trauma bond of the situation. It's kind of weird because when they first start the love bomb phase, it's kind of like on a brand new relationship with you, the first one, the first cycle, whatever. They actually kind of go into it as well with you. It's kind of like they let themselves get gaslit into it a little bit, like into the love and the admiration and stuff like that. They still, though, know in the background that, and I know this because I've listened to some guys that talk about this that are truly narcissists. And they said that they actually do know about what they're doing, but they'll allow themselves to get, baited into it themselves because they enjoy. So it's all about, for them, it's all about how they feel. So they like these feelings. And at this time period, they do want to, get away from themselves, and they enjoy all this admiration and things like that. But they still know that even from the jump that they're going to do all of this stuff to you in the end. So it really has never been a love partner relationship. It's only been using you for your fuel and using you to waste. They basically waste your time, and you're wasting, or they're wasting their own time. But it's just, that's what they need to do. They need to waste their time around people that can keep them from thinking about themselves. And that's why they don't process anything. That's why they have a big lump under the carpet, because they never deal with anything. And so it just continues to get a bigger lump and a mound and a hill. And, as they get older, that's why they're toxic too. Because toxicity is because it's almost like an infection that's not treated, and you just let it continue and continue, you'll become septic. And that's kind of what happened to them. They kind of wait until it's completely septic, and then they're just spewing all the time, all this crap, because they never can ask for forgiveness. They can never heal. They can never deal with anything. They can never accept their wrongs. And so there's issues with that. There's nothing you can do. You have to bounce it off you somehow. And that's what they do. Anyway, that's kind of like part of the fantasy land. And, you start believing that they're all good and you're all bad. And then when you accept it, basically what happens is now they believe that once you accept it and you start acting funky, like you start acting like a narcissist, or acting like mean or bitter or whatever every day, or cranky, well, then they know that it's your fault. It's not their fault. And that's only because you're wearing their fuel, and you're unbeknownst to you, you've been accepting this fuel, and they've been doing this exchange with you, and you didn't know. So that's why we always say you want to stay close to your frame with your energy. You need to gray rock, and you need to respond and not react, or observe and not absorb. If you're out there, give me a like, subscription, and thumbs up. Appreciate y'all, and all the new subscribers. I love y'all, and until next time, peace. We out.